Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
The coffee's hot, and so is this show. We got lots to talk about. Let's do it. Here we go. Stop the music. Good damn morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet. Welcome back to the P-Dog Knight channel. Don't know why this sounds weird to me. What's going on here? This is weird. Hey, so let's try this. Oh, that's better. That's a little better. Let's turn up the high part. Yeah, that's better. Okay. For some reason, it sounds really muffled in my headphones. Do I sound muffled to you? I'm just curious. Anyway, happy Monday, the 16th of December, 2024. 9 days till Christmas. Santa. Yeah. Anyway, happy end of the weekend or the beginning of the week, whichever you prefer. I just feel like it's, Monday's just another 4 short days till the next weekend for me. And there's interesting things going on, but there's some breaking news that we're going to talk about that we'll see. Prayers out to the residents of the Mayotte area of France. We'll get to that in a minute, but let's say hi to everybody first. So I'm going to just get it going. First in the chat today is Mr. Kara Soldier, who gets the bell. Yeah. There you go. And good morning to Tyre. Where is it? Tyre. Alexander. The Scourge. Do I sound muffled? It's weird. It's kind of sounds fine to you? Okay, that's good. All right, cool. Also, good morning to Don Julio, Common Down the Trash, Mike Savage, Blarg. My favorite Canadian Yankee ponies in the house, Aaron Meredith, good morning. Good morning, Lord Stanhope. Green Badger Outdoors, I almost coughed. Novar Serra, a.k.a. Ravon Harris, the backwards and upside down Ravon Harris. And is that everybody? Holy smacks, only 10 to 17. Well, I guess people are rolling in slowly. It's, I didn't give you a whole lot of time to join the stream today, and I know that notifications don't always go out immediately. It's kind of weird how YouTube works that way. I've never really quite understood it. But anyway, also just FYI, I am starting to put out fairly regular number of short videos, like the shorts, the YouTube shorts. Most of them are going to be just clips from the show. So if you have any places that you want to let me know about that you thought, oh, he should make that into a short, just DM it to me or something. You can just give me a timestamp. You don't have to give me anything like, you don't have to send me the video. I can always find it myself. But give me the timestamp, what show it is, and I'll make those into shorts too. And then also I'm creating a few new ones. In fact, I created one today, early this morning when I got home, because I got home a little bit early today, and this is I'm going to play this one.
I can imagine what can be.
Stop. Shh. Quiet. I want to share this one with you. Because, you'll see. I'm going to show it to you. Let's see. Where's the full screen? Hit the full screen there, Johnny. Come on. There we go. We're going to show you this one because this one is new. And I appreciate if you go and play it. I'll put in the links today. But here we go.
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been. You know?
What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been.
Yeah.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
What we can see, what we believe can be, unburdened by what has been. What can be, unburdened by what has been. I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been.
There you go. That's the new one. I found it funny. I don't know about y'all. Anyway, and this morning's coffee is brought to you by, that's by me, Grandpa, established 2022. God, my oldest granddaughter's gonna be 3 years old in a few months. That's crazy. And the baby's going to have her first birthday in January. It's been a quick year. It goes by fast. And it's funny, when the older you get, the faster life seems to have gone by. So do things to make your life better and go see things. That's if there's any advice I have for people that don't think they have time or whatever, go see something every chance you can. That's why Lady Boom and I started traveling every weekend, even if we're only traveling 30 miles to find something cool. There's a state park. In fact, there's a state park 3 miles from our house, or 4 miles from our house. There's a state park in the middle of our town along the river. And sometimes we just go there because it's somewhere else to go and you see things. And last time I went there, she wasn't with me that time, but last time I went there, I saw like this little herd of deer. And I was like, it was weird because usually we see deer around our neighborhood, and they're whatever. But this one, there were like 7 does and a really huge buck. It was like a 14-point buck. This really big, giant, majestic buck. And I'm driving through the park and I stopped and I'm just looking at them, and they're right near a walking path. And I saw this lady walking, down the walking path. And I wanted to yell at her, but I didn't want to startle the deer because they're all there right near the walking path. And then a couple of them saw her and they ran, and a couple of them stood completely still so they'd go unnoticed. And as she's walking down there with the little dog just kind of notices and sees it, and I keep seeing the dog looking over at the deer. And it was just cool. And then a couple of the other does ran. The buck stayed still though. And then finally the buck, they're getting a little too close, so the buck kind of runs off. But just this huge rack on its head. It was crazy, and it was just like I've never been deer hunting, so I've never seen deer that up close. But it was really cool. And sometimes you just got to go see shit, And that was it. But even if you just go to a town that's 15 or 20 miles away and go do something there that you've never done before, or even in your own town, go look at TripAdvisor and see what's the do in this town, and there's something you may not have ever heard of, and go do it. Because there's so many things to see. You don't have to travel around the world to see cool shit. There's something close to you no matter where you live. So anyway, good morning, Roasted Opinions. Renee Mayotte, #1, is in the house. Good morning to y'all. And let's get the show started. So I mentioned earlier that there is a major breaking news in France. The Mayotte, I don't know how you say it in French, but the Mayotte area of France, the small French Indian Ocean territory of Mayotte has been absolutely devastated by Category 4 cyclone Cheeto, with entire neighborhoods flattened and hundreds feared dead. The island was battered by extremists. Oh, it's an island. I didn't realize it's an island. It's small French. Oh, it's in the Indian Ocean? Oh, shit. I didn't even know that. So I had no idea. All I saw was the reports on this. Apparently, they're... Sorry about that. That's pretty loud. It destroyed hundreds of neighborhoods. They feared that thousands dead. So this is, I guess I didn't realize it's a French territory. I thought it was in France. Let's see. When French President Emmanuel Macron showed up in the country of Mayotte off the coast of Africa this week, the people were treated him like a god. Do you think these folks are down with all the Pan-Africans that we keep hearing about? I don't know what that means. But anyway, here's another report. I'll get it translated here. It says, how sad it is, not as if we have not warned so many times and again recently in June during the Commission of Inquiry of Assembly that I shared. We need help under the seal of urgency and restore electricity to hospitals. So there's these are not highly developed areas of the world. So apparently this is off the coast of Africa and the Indian Ocean. So I'm really not familiar with this part of the country, but man, it's just it's devastating for anyone to go through that. So anyway, someone says there's 1,000 dead at 200. What's 200 kilometers per hour? Siri, convert 200 kilometers per hour to miles. So 124 mile an hour winds. So it says it's a category 4. Basically, a cyclone, hurricane, tornadoes, they're kind of all the same thing, but just different parts of the world. My heart goes out to them, but I don't want us to send them money when our own citizens are living in a fucking tents. Yeah, this is apparently the French government is already planning to help them. I saw a post here earlier. Where was it? But Macron has already what's this say? 4 million views for this heartbreaking video of my 20-year-old student every month. Estimates that since her parents live in Mayotte, their income is enough to help her. Okay, I don't even know what that means. They're walking on our heads. Macron's already said that they're going to help here. Here's, let's see. This kind of tells you where it's. Okay, so Mayotte. Oh, it's down on, it's on the eastern side of Africa. You can see by this map, where if you can see my cursor, I think, can you see my cursor? Yeah, you can. Down here, just off of Madagascar. Mayotte is the little island in between Madagascar and Malawi. Near the Seychelles and whatever, this whole area right here. So Mayotte has been devastated by this cyclone. Someone says the post omits the fact that Madeira, Ascension, Tristan da Cunha, and St. Helena were not inhabited before their European discovery. Oh, this is talking about colonization. What does it say? Most Africans don't know that Spain has 3 territories in Africa: Ceuta, Melilla, and the Canary Islands. France has 2 territories in Africa, the islands of Mayotte and Reunion. Portugal has 1 territory in Africa, the Madeira Islands. United Kingdom has 1 territory, the Atlantic islands of St. Helena, Ascension, and Tristan Cunha. And y'all said colonialism and land grabbing has ended. Well, here's the thing. The post omits the fact that Madeira, Ascension, Tristan Cunha, and St. Helena were not inhabited before the European discovery. Also, the population of Ceuta, Melilla, and Canary Islands and Mayotte do not wish to be independent or part of any African country, which is, apparently Mayotte is very happy with their relationship with France. So I don't know. But anyway, you'll be hearing a lot more about that soon. Maybe, who knows? It's world news. Interesting. Good morning, GDSOB. What's up? And let's let France do their job with their colony. All right, and then now a couple cool things in the news. Must watch. May God bless you. World War II veteran celebrating his 108th birthday gets 122,000 reactions and 43,000 comments. The oldest World War II veteran. A man believed to be the oldest World War II veteran in Florida will celebrate a milestone on Tuesday, and reactions to the news have exploded online. Chief Petty Officer William Bill Monfort is getting ready to celebrate his 108th birthday at his home at a care center in Clearwater, Florida. A few years ago, his nurse, Lisa Weaver, decided to ask people to send cards addressed to Bill Monfort at 3260 McMullen Booth Road, Clearwater, Florida, 337. Okay, they doxed him completely. It's 33761, but they're all sending him cards to honor his life. And now he hopes to receive more cards to celebrate his milestone birthday, according to WFLA journalist Jennifer Lee's recent social media post. When they posted its report about Monfort's birthday, it got huge reactions from internet users. As of Sunday afternoon, the story had received 122,000 reactions, more than 43,000 comments, and more than 4,000 shares. Despite his age, Monfort, who was among the first radio men to receive Pearl Harbor attack calls, said recently, "I don't feel old. People ask me all the time, and I tell them maybe 50. Wow. Okay. So this is cool. So I'm trying to find where the post is. Ron DeSantis did make a post about him, though. Florida's oldest living World War II Navy veteran, Chief Petty Officer William Monfort, is turning 108 on December 17th. At William's request, his family and friends are organizing a public campaign to send him birthday cards. He might get tens of thousands of birthday cards. That's kind of frightening how much mail he might get. Let's see. Let's open the post on X here. This is very cool. Let's see. So Ron DeSantis got 145 posts here, 1,100 reposts and whatnot. His happy upcoming birthday, William. Thank you for your service to our country. The state of Florida celebrates with you. So here, is this the post that got, well, this isn't the one. Anyway, lots of people responding, and that's super cool. So happy birthday, Chief Petty Officer Monfort. Also in that line, now this is now some sad news. Another one, let's see. One of the last Pearl Harbor survivors dies just days after the anniversary. December 7th this year marked the 83rd anniversary of the bombing of Pearl Harbor. According to CNN, on that day, only 16 survivors remain, but I'm sad to report that the number has dwindled to 15 as of December 11th. Robert Bob Fernandez had plans to travel to Hawaii last week to mark the anniversary of the horrific events that he experienced as a young sailor, but due to his declining health after having a stroke last month, he had to back out. It would have been his fourth trip to the commemoration ceremony. Sadly, the veterans died on Wednesday. He passed away peacefully at his California home, or at the California home of his nephew, John Guthrie, while holding Guthrie's daughter's hand. He was 100 years old. So rest in peace to Pearl Harbor survivor Robert Fernandez. Very sad. Fernandez was just 17 years old on December 7th, 1941, when the Japanese attacked. He was working as a mess cook onboard the USS Curtis when he heard the alarm sound and looked outside a portal in time to see a plane with a Japanese insignia painted on the side. I felt scared because I didn't know what the hell was going on, he told the Associated Press earlier this month. Fernandez rushed down 3 decks to a magazine room where he and other sailors waited for someone to unlock the door, storing 5-inch 38 caliber shells so they could begin passing them to the ship's guns, according to the AP. He has said in the past they could hear gunfire above and many sailors were praying or crying in fear. 21 men from the USS Curtis were killed and another 60 were wounded. In the aftermath, Fernandez cleaned up the debris and stood guard on the ship to make sure no one came aboard. He remembers falling asleep among the dead bodies that night. According to Guthrie, Fernandez spent 6 years in the Navy, and he spent a lifetime proud of his service. It was just completely ingrained in him, he said of his uncle. Upon leaving the military, Fernandez worked as a forklift driver and spent 65 years with his wife, Mary, until her death in 2014. He moved in with his nephew last year, and he seemed to have a zest for life. Fernandez enjoyed music, dancing, and would attend performances at a local park and restaurant. He had a soft spot for Frank Sinatra tunes. Guthrie said ladies flocked to him like moths to a flame whenever he went out, even in his final days. But he also had a strong desire for helping others, whether he was raking leaves or painting a fence for a neighbor who couldn't do it themselves or giving money to someone who's down in their luck. So we honor Robert Fernandez, one of the last of the survivors from Pearl Harbor. So 2 Pearl Harbor vets in the news. Very interesting. Moving on, if you're a fan of college football, you know that young Mr. Travis Hunter from the University of Colorado has won the Heisman Trophy. Apparently, now, normally I don't talk, it's not a sports show, but every once in a while I have sports stories. Apparently, Travis Hunter has a girlfriend that the public really doesn't like. Anyway, this is a kid from at the University of Colorado who plays on both offense and defense. He has taken more snaps than any player in the history of college football because he plays both sides of the ball almost the entire game. And he's a very good receiver, and he's a very good, I think he's a free safety or something, but he's one of the best college athletes. Now, some people think the running back from Boise State should have got it, or a couple other guys people have been talking about it. But apparently people are mad about how his girlfriend reacted to it. For some reason, they just don't like her. So anyway, congratulations to Travis Hunter. He goes both ways. Okay, Avocado Stiabli, good morning, and you're starting up right away, aren't you? Yes, he goes both ways. Don't tell his girlfriend. Good morning, Rick Ashbringer, also. How you doing? Anyone watch the latest Sean Ryan interview with Sarah Adams? Holy shit, talk about eye-opening. We be in for a big, bad surprise come 2025. I have not seen a Sean Ryan interview. Can you send that to me on X? I'd like to see what you're talking about. My DMs are open. Also, good morning. Willie won't leave the show because we can't push Willie out. Willie won't go because the show is so good. And oh no, Willie won't leave the show. All right, moving on. Gmail's trending. And which I have Gmail. And apparently Elon Musk is hinting that there may be an X-mail soon. And so who knows? There might be a giant exodus from Gmail. Who knows? When the CEO of Google checks X and see that Gmail is trending, that's the look he gives. So I don't know. I probably will not leave Gmail anytime soon with my, with all my accounts. But yeah. Apparently someone was talking to Elon Musk about, is there going to be is he working on something for email from X? To which he replied something to the effect of, well, we're working on it. Here it is right here. Just in, Elon Musk confirms that X will be launching its own email service. Let's go. So here's everyone leaving Gmail for Xmail. That's funny. So we'll see what happens. They've been talking about that for a while. Who knows? Okay. Also, the Mona Lisa is trending. The Mona Lisa. Yes, the painting by Leonardo da Vinci. Right? Da Vinci made the Mona Lisa? Something like that. Yeah. But nobody knows why it's trending. It's just everyone's saying it's trending. So here's a whole bunch of little posts about the Mona Lisa. Someone says, I don't know why the Mona Lisa is trending, but here's a hot take. Da Vinci is considered a masterpiece, but it's inferior to the sketch Raphael did of the same model because he didn't forget the eyebrows. Because for whatever reason. And then here's turning laundry into art. That's the laundry version of the Mona Lisa. Hello, Special Can Acid, honorable mention, favorite Canadian extraordinaire. Let's see what else. And then there's this one. What a shit movie Gladiator 2 is. Oh my God, the original Gladiator was Mona Lisa. Gladiator 2 is this Mona Lisa. Has anyone seen Gladiator 2 yet? I wanted to go see it, but some people are saying it's terrible. Some people are like, oh yeah, it's pretty cool. But nobody knows why the Mona Lisa is trending. Who cares? We're done with that. Next, flat earthers are trending. Now, this is fascinating. This is fascinating because I guess there are people who are seriously flat earthers. I did not know, but there are. And so apparently flat earthers, a group of them have gone to Antarctica. A group of flat earthers were taken on an all expenses paid trip to Antarctica by scientists and STEM creators in an initiative called, quote, the final experiment, end quote. I don't know if I would want to go to Antarctica on something called the final experiment, but anyway, but they did this to challenge their belief in the flat earth. During the 24-hour visit, they witnessed the 24-hour sun, a phenomenon that directly contradicts flat earth theories. This event has led to some flat earthers publicly acknowledging the earth's roundness. Well, thank goodness. Oh, you're a triangle earther? Hi, Renee Mayotte. Yeah, triangle earther. That's it. You mean like what's it called? So a square that's in a thing is called a cube, right? What do you call a triangle that's like a 3D triangle thing? Pyramid. Is it a pyramid? I don't know. Could be. So is that what it's called? I don't know. So anyway, what else on here? Let's see. While it has also sparked online discussions with many people humorously expressing regret for not claiming to be flat earthers to gain a similar trip, the initiative costing tens of thousands of dollars and months of planning has been both celebrated for its educational impact and mocked for its presence. Yeah, premise. Yeah, I put that into clown world. So anyway, but people are, it's funny. Some people are like, a lot of the lefty, dudes who post on X too much are mocking this. Someone here, Alex Cole, someone paid for this flat earther to go to Antarctica, and he's forced to admit he was duped by a stupid flat earth community. Well, I'm going to agree with the lefty goon squad here. Same with Brian Cranston. Here's the Daily Cranston. Sometimes all it takes to shatter a conspiracy theory is stepping outside your echo chamber and looking around. A flat earther gets an all-expenses-paid trip to Antarctica. They spend 24 hours there watching the sun move and seeing undeniable evidence. And suddenly, boom, they're forced to realize their whole worldview makes about as much sense as a square wheel. Okay, that doesn't apply to political thought, Ed or Brian or whichever fucking Cranston you are. Here's the guy having his revelation about a possible round Earth.
Sometimes you are wrong in life.
No shit.
I thought that there was no 24-hour sun. In fact, I was pretty sure of it. But
shocker.
I respect Will Duffy for being a stand-up guy.
Okay.
At least in the way that he kept saying it was true. I kept saying it wasn't. He said, "You want to go? I'll take you." And brought me here, and it's a fact. The sun does circle you in the south.
Oh.
So what does that mean? You guys are gonna have to figure that out yourself.
It means
don't listen to my beliefs or my opinion.
It means,
but at least you should be able to accept that the sun does exactly what these guys said as far as circles the southern continent. So that's about it. I realized that
yes, actually, exactly, Renee.
I'll call the shill for just saying that, and you know what? If you're a shill for being honest, so be it.
Okay.
I honestly believe there was no 24-hour sun. I honestly now believe there is.
Oh, fantastic. I guess you've never been to Northern Alaska either.
I'll live to see another day, and at least I know that I got to see it. And I just want to say
it's
thanks
round.
for everything. You've been at least kind to me.
Wait a minute. This goes on for another minute and 10 seconds of this, of him having it on. Okay. Yeah, we're not doing it. Fuck that guy. Anyway, so there you go. So that's actually kind of a funny story if you ask me. Christopher, why do you have to go to Antarctica to realize the Earth isn't flat? This isn't a political post. I'm just astounded by how intellectually deficient you have to be to believe this in the 21st century. I don't understand their premise of why they thought the Earth was not really round. Hello, Stan Ulch. How you doing? It's 3D spherical. Yes, 3D spherical. Okay. Anyway, moving on. What else has it got here? Let's see. Oh, Ireland is trending. Apparently, I guess the Prime Minister of Ireland is super anti-Israel, and so I believe in fact, this is the mayor of Ireland wearing a keffiyeh. All that's wrong with Ireland in one picture. So, I guess they are. Here it is. Israel is going to close its embassy in Ireland, citing the government's extreme anti-Israel policies, which is unfortunate. But I don't have skin in the game. I just think it's sad that they are so. I know not everyone in my stream is pro-Israel, but I don't know. That's not good. Now the problem though is Ireland is one of these countries that has an immigration issue. Like they're inviting a lot of people that are not have no interest in being Irish into Ireland, and so it's kind of a weird dichotomy. But this mayor is a super left-wing goofball, right? Is that right, Mike Savage? Mike Savage, give me some insight on this. The government is anti-Israel. Mayor of Ireland, LOL. That's the president. Excuse me, the president. I'm sorry, but you're correct with the mayor. I meant the president of Ireland. Excuse me. I learned, by the way, you know how Americans don't always understand the difference between England, Great Britain, and the United Kingdom. I figured that out. I understand it now. And Ireland's really not part of any of it, right? Well, no. Wait, Ireland's part of the United Kingdom, Great Britain. Great Britain doesn't have Ireland in it, but the United Kingdom does. I got it. I think I got that backwards. Anyway, but then I came across this video of Make Ireland Irish Again. And I thought, well, we will just do that for our viewing pleasure because it's fascinating. I am kind of I don't know why, but I enjoy watching traditional Irish dancing. So here, let's give you about 45 seconds of this. Is it called clogging? I can't remember the name of it. This isn't clogging, but it's similar to clogging. This is just Irish dance. AD, are you paying attention? Hello, Andrew Thorsten, by the way. Northern Ireland is part of Great Britain. The Republic isn't. Yeah, I knew that. I just couldn't remember the United Kingdom is the one that always gets me messed up. But Great Britain, yes. Highland dance, is that what it's called? So, I guess this is specifically for Avocados Diablo because you know how things work. Hey, what's that dude? Get that dude out of there. I don't want to see him. All right. There you go. There we go. You little Irish dance. All right. We have our first sponsor of the day. By the way, have you shared the stream yet? I'm just curious. Have you shared the stream yet on X, the app formerly known as Twitter? I'm checking right now. Let me do some thank yous real quick before I catch this super chat. Thank you real quick to Steph Colonel and Tyler F. for retweeting my tweet of the show. Also, Abominable Nation, did you tweet out today? I didn't see you tweet out today. Are you even here? You are here, right? Also, Green Badger Outdoors with the Let's Go right here. There we go. And then thank you, Mike Savage. Also did Let Us Go. Very good. Mike Savage and Steph Colonel. I think, okay, that's about everybody so far. So there you go. Wait. Tyre says, my favorite jig videos. Do I dare do this? Wait, what's this? That's that. Oh, that's just, I don't need that open. All right, let me see what Tyre put in here. Is this going to get me in trouble? I'm going to pause. Oh, here's another one. Here's another Irish jig video. Is this gonna get me in trouble? Oh, here it is. Is something bad gonna happen here? I hope the tent doesn't fall down on her. Your Irish stands, I'm Irish, Scottish, German, and English. A walking juxtaposition. I'm waiting for something weird to happen to her. Why is this your favorite, Tyre? All right, there we go. All right, that's okay. It's pretty cool. All right, real quick. Thank you, Avocados Diablo, the first sponsor of the show today, and you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Avocados Diablo says, and I quote, "Makes sense the Irish don't like the Jews. They were in Axis power during World War II, after all." What? What? Wait a minute. What? Okay, now, is this something I'm learning for the first time, or are you just making a joke? I'm not 100% sure. Somebody let me know if that's a joke. I'd never heard that before. Huh. Nothing bad happens. It's just the contrast between Scottish and Irish things. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Okay, that's cool. Oh, I see. Scottish. It says Irish versus Scottish. It's an Archer joke. Okay, I haven't seen enough episodes of Archer to get that joke. Okay, I'm like, well, that just confused the hell out of me. All right, there we go. All right, moving on. Where was I? How much time do I? Oh, I'm doing good for time. Let's see. Irish Flat Earthers, Ireland. Oh, now here's an interesting one. SoftBank is trending. I don't know if you know what SoftBank is, but SoftBank CEO Masayoshi Son is scheduled to meet with President-elect Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago to announce a significant $100 billion investment in the United States. This investment will span over the next 4 years and focus on advancing the AI sector, aiming to generate approximately 100,000 jobs. Well, how many jobs is it going to end, though? Anyway, the announcement signifies continued economic ties and SoftBank's commitment to expanding all its operations within the U.S., particularly in the technology and infrastructure related to artificial intelligence. Now, that's interesting. I don't know. Does anyone know where SoftBank is? Is that Korean? Is that a Korean company? I don't know. Someone here says, someone named Sarah Eisen says, I'm told by sources familiar that SoftBank's Masa Son will be at Mar-a-Lago today, announced the investment, aiming to create 100,000 jobs in the U.S. Remember, he did this in 2016 and followed through with it, mostly via investment from the Vision Fund. His commitment to $100 billion will be invested in the U.S. before 2029 and will create 100,000 jobs and will be focused on AI and related support infrastructure. It demands, I think, ARM, data centers, energy production, chips. So all kinds of ways. That's huge. It can come from the SoftBank's Vision Fund, but also through, also through capital projects. So, wow, that's interesting. Someone asked, what happened? Someone asked her a question here. Someone says, what happened to the huge Foxconn factory in Wisconsin they promised? They abandoned the project. That's curious, but I don't know if that was, it wasn't SoftBank who did that. So anyway, a lot of people talking about that. There is an article here in CNBC. Okay, SoftBank CEO Masayoshi Son will announce a $100 billion investment in the U.S. over the next 4 years during Monday's visit to President-elect Donald Trump's residence in Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida. Sources familiar with the matters told CNBC. It's a Japanese tech firm. The billionaire investor and founder of the Japanese tech investing firm will also promise in the joint announcement with Trump to create 100,000 jobs. Stop doing that. Focused on artificial intelligence and related infrastructure, the sources said. The money will be deployed before the end of Trump's term. The funding could come from various sources controlled by SoftBank, including the Vision Fund, capital projects, or chip maker ARM Holding, where the firm is majority owner. Some of the money will not necessarily be newly raised, but could include some funding already announced, such as SoftBank's recent $1.5 billion investment in OpenAI, the tech firm behind chatbot ChatGPT. SoftBank's son and Trump made similar announcement in the 2016 after Trump was elected president for the first time, with the Japanese firm agreeing to invest $50 billion in the U.S. with the aim to create 50,000 jobs. Now, I wonder what happened to that. I'd like to know where that went. Ireland wasn't part of the Axis, but did declare neutrality. Okay, apparently that was a joke from the show Archer. I wasn't familiar with the joke because I haven't seen enough episodes of Archer. The ones I have seen are hilarious, but that's it. So anyway, there you go. That's why SoftBank is trending. Now, it isn't necessarily a trending, but I see a lot of people talking about the words scandal free. Scandal free. And it's funny because, as you may remember, a lot of people like to describe the 8 years of Barack Obama as scandal-free, which was a complete fucking joke because, you could put a whole list of scandals. It's funny. When there's bad news about a Democratic administration, they're not called, the media doesn't call them scandals, even if they are, Fast and Furious, the gun running thing, there's plenty of scandals. But anyway, so Joe Biden decided that he wanted to walk in the footsteps of his former boss, President Barack Hussein Obama, and he also said something about, what does he say? Let's see if there's a longer clip than 8 seconds. Everyone's posting this clip right here, of Joseph Rahim Biden.
Basically scandal-free. It's hard to do in American politics these days.
So now I hate it when anyone puts out a clip that is only 7 seconds long. So it's a soundbite of something in a longer span of things he said. So I'm curious. But this guy, so someone says the quote is, we've run a campaign that's basically scandal-free. That's hard to do in American politics, which he adds, except covering up the obvious cognitive decline, peddling his family's influence, hiding classified documents, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So now there's, I've got a couple scandals that we'll go through. Anyway, and I was trying to find a clip. Yeah, we didn't, we forget about this one. This one here. But so somebody here says, who actually believes Joe Biden ran a scandal-free presidency? So I don't know if he's talking about his presidency. He says campaign. Does he mean the whole presidential run, the whole time? So people are posting different various things that that could be considered scandals, but unfortunately I can't find them as I scroll through here. So oh, wait, here we go. Let's see. I've been talking about this Medicare scandal from the Biden-Harris administration for the past 2 months. Shockingly, nobody in the media is covering it, but people are going to be in for a rude awakening when right after the election, their Medicare premiums skyrocket because of what these con artists in the White House did. So here, let's play this one from Older Millennial, one of my favorite new accounts. Before I hit play, though, thank you, Advocatus Diabli. Another small bullet in the tip jar at 223 says, scandal-free? If you ignore Afghanistan, the Hunter pardon, the documents, the shitting on the Pope, showering with his daughter, and cocaine in the White House, for starters. Yeah, that says plenty of scandals you can bring up for the Biden administration in his short 4 years. And the weaponization of the Department of Justice is a good one, too. Thank you very much, sir. If you want to sponsor the show, let me get rid of this thing. Let me get rid of that. Let's unpin that. Let's pin something that's more appropriate here. If you want to sponsor the show, let me find a Johnny Boomer Tech link. Here we go. What the hell? Is Johnny even working today? Jesus Christ. Here's the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor link, which is the best place to sponsor the show. All right, let's see what older what do he call himself? The older millennial? Something like that. Whatever his name is. Here we go.
Every single person that's on Medicare right now is fucked after the election. And I'm going to be real with you. The Biden-Harris administration fucked you so hard, I don't even know if electing Trump can save you. Let me explain. So the Biden-Harris administration is currently under investigation for violation of the Hatch Act. Now, I recognize a lot of you don't know what that is, but at its most basic, the Hatch Act prohibits political activity conducted in an official capacity. Now, in this particular situation, what they're investigating the Biden-Harris administration for is that they are inappropriately using taxpayer funds to mask defective Medicare Part D policies. These are policies that would increase the taxpayer burden from $30 per month to $142 next year. This is what's going to happen to your monthly cost for Medicare. Now, the reason they're being investigated for violations of the Hatch Act is that should have already kicked in, because the Biden-Harris administration took $230 billion from Medicare to fund the EV tax credit. Then when the seniors' premiums started spiking, the Biden-Harris administration took more money to pay off insurers to delay price hikes until after the election. So basically, the Biden-Harris administration fucked up. They raided $320 billion from Medicare to pay for their EV tax. And the result from that was Medicare premiums were going to spike. So what the Biden-Harris administration did was take money from other things and paid into Medicare to try
so they're
going to
push them off, so it looks like it happens during the Trump administration.
To keep the prices down until after November 5th. That's why they're being investigated under the Hatch Act, because they are inappropriately using funds that are not meant for this, and they are paying it into Medicare to cover up their own mistake, and they are only covering it up until after November 5th. Because in all reality, all of your Medicare premiums should have gone through the fucking roof. Your monthly Medicare premiums should...
So here's what's, and I bet you $1 to a donut, because I haven't heard about this yet, and I know because my mother-in-law is on Medicare. They're gonna find a way to postpone those increases until next year, and then all the Democrats are gonna blame it on Trump. Watch. That's my prediction. Should have almost increased by 5 times, but the Biden-Harris administration is hiding that price increase until after the election.
I'm going to be honest with you, it's going to be a really hard thing to fix. Now, the Biden-Harris administration doesn't care about actually fixing it because they're just going to blame the drug companies or the hospitals or the insurers. But in reality, there's no way around this. Like those of you on Medicare, your monthly payments next year are going to go through the fucking roof. And it's all because the Biden-Harris administration fucked up and robbed $230 billion from you. Also, they could pay for those EV tax credits. And like I said, I don't even know what Trump can do to fix what Biden and Harris fucked up. Yeah, those of you on Medicare are fucked. You need to be ready to pay 4 to 5 times what you're currently paying.
I'm pretty sure that's for like Medicare Part D plans.
Up until the election. And let's be honest, if you have a choice in this election, do you want to vote for the guy that might be able to fix it? Or do you want to vote for the people that fucked it up and are now trying to cover it up until after November 5th?
Okay, so that happened, that was before the election, but still. So that's another scandal that we probably haven't heard about. But here's one: Afghan withdrawal, illegal alien invasion, being caught with classified documents, cocaine in the White House, medical emergency forcing him out of the race, lying about pardoning his son Hunter. Let's see. Feel free to include any scandals I missed because I know I missed plenty. Well, let's see what people came up with. The spy balloons. Let's see. Clearly believes simply saying something. Oh, whatever. Post self-pardon, which is probably going to post. He's probably going to pardon himself. Let's see. Someone said spy balloons here. Selling pardons to the highest bidders. But the pardon list, let's go down the couple that we have here. So let's talk about this pardon thing. 'Cause he didn't, apparently all these clemency cases he's done, there's some doozies in there. And let's talk about that. So it turns out that the Biden administration never considered the specifics of the 1,500 clemency cases that he commuted. Because what happened during COVID, there was a bunch of people, nonviolent crimes, whatever, that were kind of sent home and ended up on home arrest. And then recently, the Joseph Rahim Biden decided that he's going to grant all of these people clemency, right? Well, let's talk about that. A Massachusetts woman on Biden's clemency list was sentenced for lethal fentanyl trafficking conspiracy, according to the Boston Herald. She led a large-scale criminal enterprise that reaped hundreds of thousands of dollars in profits and caused untold misery. Former Dixon comptroller Rita Crunwell stole $53 million from the little town, a crime so notorious that a documentary was made highlighting that she perpetrated the largest case of municipal fraud in American history, according to Politico. Hello, Reaction Puerto Rico. Perhaps most incredibly, the Cash for Kids drug in Pennsylvania, who wrongly sent dozens of minors to a for-profit prison and got kickbacks for it. He was released without any examination of the facts of his case. Remember, they're always bitching about private prisons? Well, this judge was getting kickbacks from private prisons, and he was sending minors to them to get kickbacks. The White House commuted the sentence of the judge at the center of the notorious Kid for Cash scandal without considering the specifics of his case, beyond whether it fit into a broad set of criteria, reports Politico. We can assume the rest of the cases of the 1,500 prisoners were also examined just as thoroughly. The governor of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro, strongly disagreed with Biden's decision to commute the sentence of former Judge Michael Conahan, who was convicted in 2011 and sentenced to 17 years, only to be released to house arrest during the pandemic. Quote, "I do feel strongly that President Biden got it absolutely wrong and created a lot of pain here in northeastern Pennsylvania," Shapiro, a Democrat, said at an event on Friday. Conahan, he said, deserves to be behind bars, not walking a free man. The mother of one teen wrongly sentenced by Conahan, who then committed suicide, Sandy Fonzo, said she was shocked and hurt by the Biden clemency. Conahan's actions destroyed families, including mine and my son's death, and it's a tragic reminder of the consequences of his abuse of power, Fonzo told a local publication. This pardon feels like an injustice for all of us who still suffer. Right now, I'm processing and doing the best I can to cope with the pain that this has brought back. Rita Crunwell, the Dixon, Illinois comptroller who stole $54 million to fund a lavish lifestyle of expensive homes, dream vacations, and some serious bling, was sentenced to 20 years. She served less than half that time With my deteriorating health condition and the danger of COVID-19 pandemic, I feel like I've been given a death sentence, she wrote to the judge asking to be released during the pandemic. Chicago's WGN reported Thursday. The judge denied release, but the following year, the Bureau of Prisons put her on home confinement even though she had only served less than half her sentence. Former U.S. Marshal Josh Woj, what the hell is that name? Wojdylo. Okay, I'm going to put this in the chat. Somebody give me a phonetics... Can somebody give me a phonetic pronunciation of this name? Wojdylo. Wojilo? Anyway, that's how you spell the name. Met with Cromwell in prison several times as he worked to sell her assets. She conveyed to me more of a sense of disgust that she had been sentenced that long, he said back in 2021. She was very visibly shaken by the fact she was serving a nearly 20-year sentence. So she's not sorry about her crime. Should remorse have been one of the top criteria Biden should have looked at, with Biden mania being the first, the best, the biggest, the most? It's not surprising that he and his aides gave little thought to the specifics of the cases, as long as they fit into a broad set of criteria for release. So anyway, hello, Spidey, or Trippy Liberty. What's up, my brother? I thought I saw Spidey Man here too somewhere. Did I just not see that? Anyway, thank you, Avocados Diablo, another small bullet in the tip jar, who says, fingers crossed someone will blanket pardon everyone born on an even numbered day for all crimes committed in perpetuity over the last 50 years and for all time to come. I think that's pardon's only going to be for himself. Again, what do you say? Here's everyone born on an even numbered day for all crimes committed in perpetuity over the last 50 years and for all of time to come. You know, that's yeah, that's probably it. I got you. Here, let's get one of these too. Thank you, Avocados Diablo, for sponsoring the show, as you often do. So that's so there's a little scan on those pardons, and then there's another article here. Biden faces backlash over clemency for kids for cash judge and corrupt Ohio officials. So these are the same ones that they were talking about. Let's see, the Ohio official. Oh, this is a different one. We got the kid for cash guy, Judge Conahan, who was getting kickbacks from private prisons for sentencing kids to these prisons. Oh my God. And look, every time I hear people bitch about private prisons, and I make these, I say, you know, judges aren't going to just send people to prison because how are they going to make money off it? It's like, you know, I don't care if prisons are run by private companies for efficiency. For example, you know, if the government has a building and Mayotte Management Services goes in there and runs their cafeteria because they're more efficient at doing things from a private company, I have no problem with that. I don't care. But the fact that the judge was getting kickbacks from the prison to sentence people to go to that prison, to keep that prison full, fuck that guy. That guy should be in prison longer than anyone he has ever sentenced, as far as I'm concerned. All right, let's see here. What is this? So this is okay. Where's the guy's name here? Joe Biden is facing mounting backlash over his decision to grant clemency to a state judge responsible for the kids for cash scandal in Ohio County's corrupt commissioner. As part of a broader pardon and clemency announcement impacting approximately 1,500 individuals, the largest in U.S. history, Biden commuted the prison sentence for former Luzerne County, Pennsylvania Judge Michael D. Conahan and Cuyahoga County Commissioner Jimmy DeMora. DeMora is the one I want to see about. We haven't read about him yet. DeMora was previously convicted of accepting bribes over several years. According to information from the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Ohio, DeMora received over $166,000 in bribes, which included monetary payments, home renovations, extravagant dining experiences, services from sex workers. Uh-oh, I wonder if he went ice fishing, AD. Was DeMora with the ice shack hookers? That happened in Ohio, didn't it? Weren't the ice shack hookers in Ohio? Anyway, services from sex workers and gambling excursions in Las Vegas and Canada. There's gambling in Canada? You gamble in Canada? You degenerates. His actions in return involved directing contracts to certain individuals, helping acquaintances secure jobs and salary increases, and lobbying for beneficial loans and grants. Initially sentenced in 2012 to 28 years of imprisonment, DeMora has consistently denied involvement in criminal activities. He has sought clemency from President Barack Obama during his term, but was not granted it. Biden defended his decision, stating that individuals released to home confinement during the pandemic have successfully reintegrated into their communities. Well, maybe not. I'm not sure I believe that. I don't think Biden knows anything that happened. Hello, Linda Hunter, by the way. Anyway, that's another one. So there are scandal-free. Well, he's finishing out with a bang. I'm just saying. All right. Why do I check in on you in the wee hours? Joe Bribman and company can always go lower. It's very similar to what two-tier bum steers did in England, but he did it coming in, not out. Well, Biden's been doing this shit all over the place. Anyway, all right, let's move on. All right, before I get to the main topic, one more here. Apparently, some Democrats are thinking of boycotting the inauguration. Oh no, what would we do without them? So lots of people talking about this one, and Donald Trump Jr. Leads the bunch. It says, apparently a large group of Democrat legislators plan to boycott my father's inauguration, which is great, as it will make room for a lot more actual patriots to attend. They have my complete and total endorsement to stay the fuck home. Okay, I added that last part, but anyway. Yes, the ice shack hookers were in Ohio. I knew it. I wonder if that dude was going ice fishing. He went on an ice fishing trip to see the ice shack hookers. Anyway, so and then somebody here says uncomfortable truths. Nobody cares if the squad boycotts the Trump inauguration. Luigi Mangione is not a hero. Daniel Penny is a hero. Jordan Neely was a bad guy. He's got a bunch of them. So was George Floyd, who was a drug addict and a wife beater. Nobody really cares about those drones. We just wonder why they're such a problem for the most powerful military in the world. It should never be illegal or wrong to fly the American flag. Trump is a better president than Clinton, Obama, and Biden combined. COVID was just the flu. You can't change your gender. It should not be legal for gay men to rent wombs. And what else you got? Okay, that was a little more than just the inauguration thing. So here it is. Breaking Democrats are planning to boycott President Trump's inauguration. Trump, well, he didn't win. It's not a landslide. He won by a big electoral vote margin. And he, every single Democrat, it's funny, because they like to say that Trump won because of white males or white people, right? Donald Trump won a smaller percentage of white males than he did in 2020. I just found out that stat too. He gained votes in every other demographic. And improved his vote counts in every state in the union. Now, not every county didn't. Except for except for Nebraska and Washington. He got more votes in every state except for Washington. So as far as the trend, the wave, clearly the wave was in his favor. Okay. So anyway, let's see. There's a story here. Democrats' boycott of Trump inauguration materializing as a first act of resistance. Resist, brother. Resist. Per Axios report, in the end, however, all he's been through over the past decade, Trump has a very clear idea of who his friends are and who his enemies are, and that will make all the difference. So, Axios reported on Friday that a formal boycott of President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration is materializing as a first act of resistance against his new administration. The media outlet has begun tracking the number of House Democrats who plan to sit out the event. So far, 13 lawmakers say they will definitely not attend. 20 more are undecided, and 40 others say they plan to attend. The report describes the undecideds as, quote, anxiously grappling with whether to attend, end quote. Allow me to enlighten them, although some of their constituents might be disappointed by their lack of representation at such a historic event. Most simply don't give a shit whether they show up or not. Yes, I embellished a little bit on that sentence. Despite their exaggerated sense of their own importance, their presence at the U.S. Capitol, nobody gives a fuck. Again, I am reading this. What's you call that? I'm not summarizing. I'm embellishing. I'm embellishing a little bit on this. So anyway, House Democrats plan attendance at the inauguration. So it's showing you who won't be, who will be. 13 are attending, 20 are not undecided, 44 are attending. Who cares? These Democrats refuse to accept the fact that Trump just won a decisive victory. Yes, it was a decisive victory. Not a landslide, but decisive. That's a good way to put it. Over their preferred candidate, he swept the battleground states, won the popular vote, and was even named Time Magazine's Person of the Year, which doesn't, the Time Magazine Person of the Year doesn't mean a whole lot. I'm just saying. It's all it is the biggest newsmaker of the year. And sometimes that's not good, but it's good. I think it's good this time. It's fucking, what a political comeback. Anyway, the times have changed completely, but the times have changed completely, but the Democrats' narrative has remained the same. As the authors of this article seek to explain why these Democrats are refusing to attend the inauguration, they return to the same tiresome excuse. Quote, for many Democrats, the scars of the January 6, 2021 attack on the Capitol remain fresh in the mind, marking Trump's as a threat to democracy. To be fair, that's precisely what several Democrats have told them. Representative Benny Thompson of Mississippi, the former January 6th committee chair, whose anti-Trump bias throughout the investigation was obvious to all, told Axios, quote, well, somebody who said he's going to lock me up, I don't see the excitement in going to this inauguration. It says he'll lock you up, but you did fuck up the committee notes and you got rid of a bunch of shit you were supposed to get rid of. Representative Steve Cohen, Democrat of Tennessee, will not attend because he, quote, cannot be a part of that spectacle as someone who was locked in my office as the insurrectionists tried to overthrow our government. Y'all dumb motherfuckers. They did not try to overthrow the government. There's thousands of hours of video. Of course, you've only seen the looping of the fighting with the police and shit. How did they try to overthrow the government? By walking through the Capitol building? How? Did they, how many people did they murder? How many people did they shoot? How many presidents and congressmen and senators did they kill because they were going to take over the government? They didn't, you assholes. Holy shit. Likewise, Representative Veronica Escobar, Democrat from Texas, will skip the festivities because she was trapped in the House gallery on January 6th. Oh my gosh. Anyway, that's kind of, it goes on and on. Oh, Ilhan Omar said the same thing. She's telling Axios that attending MLK events instead makes sense because why risk any chaos that might be up here? Well, yeah, my guess is there's going to be some other insurrectionists there and protesting and whatnot. I'm sure DC will be on fire that day. So apparently they were quoting from a USA Today article. There's another one here in PJ Media. Stuck on stupid, Democrats plan boycott of the inauguration. For years, Democrats have made a spectacle of their disdain for President Trump at every opportunity, so it should come as no surprise that once again, Democrats are planning to boycott his inauguration. The same thing happened in 2017 when they skipped Trump's inauguration because they claimed he'd stolen the election with the help of Russia. Now, after Trump won, again, they keep saying it's landslide electoral college victory. Well, kind of. As well as the national popular vote, Democrats are once again coming up with excuses to skip the event. So this is, again, reporting from the Axios. So there's a couple different articles if you want to check those out. So now, let's see. I need to get to the main topic, though, which is ABC News has settled a lawsuit with Donald John Trump. Now, if you weren't on top of this story, AOC was killed on January 6th. She told us on January 7th. Oh, that's right. She was locked in her closet and in a complete different building. But yeah, and then people came knocking at her door and she was scared and hiding in the congressional office building across the lawn from the Capitol building that she wasn't in. and I think maybe the officer beat her up with a baton and violated her some way or something. I can't remember the story. And then she died, but then she resurrected the next day. Anyway, so let's go back to this story. ABC News. Well, here's the breaking article or breaking tweet. Breaking: George Stephanopoulos and ABC News must apologize and pay Commander-in-Chief and President Trump $15 million to settle a defamation lawsuit. George Stephanopoulos falsely stated that Trump, with that R word, E. Jean Carroll. Hell no, 100% lied. So, if you're unfamiliar with this, here's by the way, George Stephanopoulos deleted his X account. Wow, that's the thumbnail up here. That was referencing that. He deleted his X account. So anyway, here's where's the clip of the. So here's the clip they're talking about. So here it is, and this is Colin Rung posted this. ABC News forced to pay $15 million to Trump. Actually, they're going to pay it to the Trump Presidential Library, but whatever. And George Stephanopoulos is going to be forced to issue a public apology. Now, we're going to talk about George Stephanopoulos in a second, because this whole thing is rich. And actually, I'll let Megan Telly do it for you. But anyway, just for AD's sake. Anyway, so the development stems from a March incident where Stephanopoulos claimed Trump was found liable for rape. Now ABC News has to pay $15 million as a charitable contribution to a presidential foundation museum to be established by or for the plaintiff, as President of the United States of America have established in the past. They'll have to cover Trump's $1 million in legal fees. ABC News and George Stephanopoulos regret statements regarding President Donald J. Trump made during an interview by George Stephanopoulos with Representative Nancy Mace on ABC's This Week in March 10th, 2024. The apology reads. So here's that clip of George Stephanopoulos and Nancy Mace.
For rape.
I still get judged for it today.
I'm asking you a very simple question.
And I answered it. You're shaming me for my political choices.
I'm asking you a question about why you endorse someone who's been found liable for rape.
It was not a criminal court.
Now, that is factually false. No matter what the judge says, because the jury specifically did not check the box about rape. And so it factually false, not in a criminal court, not in a, and not liable for rape in the civil court either. He was liable for defamation. So anyway, and so he starts hammering Nancy Mace, who is a victim of that crime, about this, attempting to shame her for her support for Donald Trump. And she keeps repeating that to him, and he just doesn't want to hear it. He keeps saying it over and over.
About why you endorse someone who's been found liable for rape.
It was not a criminal court. This was a civil court. It was a civil court. And by the way, she joked about the judgment and what she was going to do with all that money, and I find that offensive.
I'm asking you about
as a rape victim who's been shamed for years now because of her rape, you're trying to shame me again by asking me this political question.
You've repeated that again.
I think it's offensive.
It's because you're lying, George.
I find it offensive. For my political choices, I've endorsed the man that I believe is best for our country. It's not Joe Biden. And you looked at the dueling rallies yesterday in Georgia. Laken Riley's family was with Donald Trump. They weren't with Joe Biden. The same guy yesterday that apologized for calling her killer an illegal, who was an illegal. And here you are trying to shame a rape victim. I find it disgusting.
I mean, you keep saying I'm shaming you.
You are. The question, it is.
How is the question asking you about a presidential candidate who's
You're asking a rape victim.
And there's no question about that. And you've courageously talked about that.
Because I've been raped. I think that's disgusting.
No, I'm questioning your political choices because you're supporting someone who's been found liable.
He is trying to shame her. It's not. He's not asking the question to. Well, I'm really trying to know why are you, as a rape victim, why are you, this guy is found. And he keeps saying liable for rape too.
Actually, I'm not trying to.
You are. That's exactly.
He says it here. He says it again.
I think it's disgusting.
Hang on.
Political choices because you're supporting someone who's been found liable for rape. Actually, I'm not trying to.
You are. That's exactly.
You're not answering the question.
I think it's disgusting.
Well, you're welcome to say that, but you have to answer the question. Why are you supporting someone who's been found liable for rape?
He says it again.
I just answered your question.
What is the answer?
He was not found guilty in a criminal court of law. It was sexual abuse. It wasn't actually rape, by the way. And E. Jean Carroll joked about all the money she's going to get and made a mockery out of this case. And I think that's offensive. There's a reason why women don't come forward. And when you have someone who says that they're raped and they make a mockery out of this civil court judgment, it's offensive to other women. It makes it harder for other women to come forward when another woman has made a mockery of it.
You said women don't come forward because they are afraid. They are
afraid. I think he says it one more time.
By those like you're trying to shame me this morning.
They are afraid to come forward, as you said, because they are defamed by those who commit the rape. That's what Donald Trump has been found guilty of doing.
Okay, and he says it again. That time, what did he say? Listen to what he says this time.
Because they are afraid. They are afraid
they're
because they are defamed
and shamed
by those
like you're trying to shame me this morning.
They are afraid to come forward, as you said, because they are defamed by those who commit the rape. That's
so
what
he says that's what Donald Trump
found guilty of doing.
He defended himself.
Okay, so from a legal standpoint, George fucked up. Just George. Good work, selected boy, by the way.
Yeah, boy.
From a legal point, George. Oh, whoops! I didn't mean to do that. George fucked up. Now, here's the article in Breitbart. ABC News, George and Stephanopoulos settled defamation lawsuit with Trump, paying $15 million and must apologize, which is basically the same as the first sentence. The Hill reported that the news outlet and Stephanopoulos agreed to issue a public apology and to provide $15 million that would go towards Trump's future presidential library. The outlet noted that under the settlement agreement, along with the $15 million in escrow to go towards Trump's future library, ABC News agreed to pay $1 million in attorney's fees and add an editor's note to the bottom of the relevant article. Under the settlement agreement, the network will put the $15 million in escrow to be ultimately used towards Trump's future presidential library foundation. That's the same fucking sentence. What are they doing? Attorney's fees, blah, blah, blah. And then the statement, the editor's note at the bottom of the relevant article, court documents show. It should be at the top of the relevant article. That's where it should be. It should be at the top because people don't always read to the bottom. But anyway, ABC News and George Stephanopoulos regret statements regarding President Donald J. Trump made during an interview by George Stephanopoulos with Representative Nancy Mace on ABC's This Week on March 10th, 2024. The note reads, where's the rest of it? It should be, they said, anyway, ABC also must issue a statement of regret for their slander of the incoming president, which occurred during the election cycle. As Breitbart News' Wendell Husbo previously reported, in March, Trump filed a defamation lawsuit against ABC News and Stephanopoulos. Trump claimed that his reputation was besmirched by Stephanopoulos, claiming during the interview with Representative Nancy Mace that 2 juries had found Trump liable for rape in the case against E.G. Carroll. The incident occurred during Stephanopoulos' interview with Nancy Mace. Okay, they keep doing this. Breitbart writes the same fucking sentence over and over again. Here he said, George Stephanopoulos said during the interview, quote, judges and 2 separate juries have found him liable for rape and for defaming the victim of that rape. How do you square your endorsement of Donald Trump with the testimony we just saw? An ABC News spokesman expressed in a statement to The Hill that the news outlet was pleased that the parties have reached an agreement to dismiss the lawsuit on the terms in the court filing. Quote, it is encouraging to see the legacy media being held accountable for slandering someone they politically oppose, Breitbart News senior legal contributor Ken Klukowski said in response to the settlement. The Supreme Court in 1964 improperly invented a First Amendment defamation shield when it comes to public figures like President Trump. So this settlement highlights just how outrageous Stephanopoulos' lies were and should embolden Republicans and conservatives to push back in the face of such egregious misconduct. Well, look, they constantly lie about what Donald Trump says. They constantly misquote him, or they use one quote completely out of context to destroy his, whatever. They say he's lying when he's, it's complete. He's talking about like the bloodbath thing. That was such bullshit that every fucking media outlet glommed onto. Now, it's interesting though, because some people are not happy about this settlement. So let me give you an example here. Somebody here says, oh, this person says President Trump should not have settled with ABC. He should have hired Megyn Kelly and bankrupted them. Here's a great segment from Megyn Kelly. I know Avocados Diablo will appreciate this. Talking about the person who made these claims, Mr. George Stephanopoulos, because this motherfucker, well, let's just say his past alliances with certain people who he shielded from certain claims. Well, let's let Megyn Kelly tell us. By the way, good morning, Anon. 1, 2, 3. Here's Megyn Kelly's show.
What a kind, sensitive man who clearly cares deeply about women and their sexual assault allegations.
Yes,
Thanks for being an ally, George. I see how
George.
concerned you are that victims might not come forward if they are publicly attacked by their rapist or his defenders. To be sure, that is a very real concern. It happens all the time.
Right, Megyn? You're right.
Which you know, because you invented it. Remember? When you created a whole command center designed to smear Bill Clinton's sexual assault and rape accusers so you could elevate him right into the presidency. The attorney representing many of Bill's accusers, and there were many, George, Juanita Broderick, Kathleen Willey, Paula Jones, Jennifer Flowers, to name just a few, said you and James Carville, at Hillary Clinton's direction, formed a so-called war room.
Oh, I remember the war room.
To destroy any woman that would challenge Bill Clinton. You know the war room. They made a whole movie about it.
George Stephanopoulos. I'm Director of Communications. Bush was on the defensive. Another good night for Bill Clinton. 3 debates, 3 wins. I guarantee you that if you do this, you'll never work in Democratic politics again.
Oh.
Such a tough guy.
He's just a little
This
bitch.
attorney points out that you don't like to talk about this particular behavior, George. Maybe that's why you skipped it in your discussion with Nancy Mace. But as you know, private detectives were hired. The women say they were threatened, and they were publicly shamed by you.
Oh, yes, they
and your
were.
well-funded team. Did you worry then that this behavior might shame victims from coming forward?
No.
You admitted in your own memoir that Hillary Clinton told you about one accuser, quote, "We have to destroy her story." Did you object? Did you say, "That's shaming"? No. In fact, you later described yourself as Bill Clinton's, quote, "enabler." But, sir, how could you have enabled and defended a man like this, accused by multiple women of sexual assault, rape, and harassment?
What about
Which brings
Carville?
us to Paula Jones.
Yeah.
You were Clinton's attack dog when Jones came forward claiming Bill Clinton had exposed himself to her. That when he was governor of Arkansas, he summoned
Paid
her through
$800,000
state
settlement.
troopers to a Little Rock, Arkansas hotel room and took out his penis, a charge Clinton denies, just as Trump denies E. Jean Carroll's allegations against him. What do you think he wanted done with that thing, George? Just a little show and tell? Jones was poor, a graduate of secretarial school, and worked for the state. She had no power, no connections, and he was the sitting governor. She didn't go to Columbia and Oxford and become a Rhodes Scholar like you, George. She was a nothing to you. Your buddy Carville immediately went after Ms. Jones, infamously saying, "If you drag a $100 bill through a trailer park, you never know what you'll find." And you...
That motherfucker said that, I believe, was it a national, it was like, he said that on national TV, I think more than once, about Paula Jones, who Clinton eventually settled with for $800,000. And Juanita Broderick still online to this day, saying that Bill Clinton did that thing with the R word.
You? Did you defend Paula Jones saying, "We don't shame accusers, that's wrong"? No.
No, they shamed her.
You
They shamed the
compared
fuck out of her.
Jones to Tanya Harding as, quoting here from the New York Times, "just another woman seeking cash for telling a tabloid tale." Fire up that war room, George, and destroy her.
Yep.
Bill Clinton would ultimately pay Paula Jones almost $1 million to settle her civil suit against him. And you remained Team Clinton all the way. To say nothing of Juanita Broderick's rape allegation or Kathleen Willie's allegations, and more. But now you, quote, don't understand how Nancy Mace can support a man found liable for sexual assault of one woman 30 years ago in a civil trial in which the burden of proof is just 51% likely. My God, how did anyone at ABC think this was a good line of inquiry for George Stephanopoulos, of all people, to pursue?
Yes! Anyone have anything to add? Because I think she was pretty thorough there. I think she has it down. George was a shitbag. There are people though. And then there's the Morning Joe. Let's see what Morning Joe has to say. Here's Joe Scarborough and Beaker and Leaker. ABC News settles Trump for $15 million for Stephanopoulos defamation during his interview with Nancy Mace. Here's Morning Joe reporting on that interview by repeating the same lies that ABC News just settled for. Maybe this is why they went to meet Trump at Mar-a-Lago. Oh, I didn't even think of that. Here's Beaker and Leaker talking about the same thing.
Knows. She is defending. She is endorsing. She is all behind a man.
Let's see what words they use.
Who a judge said raped another woman and then defamed her. Talk about shaming a woman if she's so concerned about rape victims being shamed. What about what Donald Trump does to his rape victim? Judge said she was a rape victim. Day in and day out, constantly shaming E. Jean Carroll, so much so that the jury had to come back a second time and make the penalty so bad that maybe he would stop shaming a rape victim. But that's who Nancy Mace aggressively endorses.
Nancy Mace, who
now
has
Leaker.
openly spoken about
Leaker
a
said
terrible
it too.
Experience weaponizing it against George Stephanopoulos, which it seems beyond twisted. But again, this is Trump world. And this is a man.
By the way, do you know how many people have said this lately? I mean, the Krasenstein, that's on online fuckwads like the Krasensteins and Call to Action and Brooklyn Dad dipshit and all those motherfuckers saying the same shit. It's amazing.
Who has been accused.
And now they're all nervous. And they're claiming, First Amendment violations. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure the First Amendment exception might be slander or libel, right?
Of rape several times over, and has other accusers
that
he's bought off.
I think anyone who knows George Stephanopoulos knows that he is one of the least likely people in the world to try and shame somebody who has suffered that kind of thing.
Oh my God! I hadn't watched this through. Wait a minute. Listen to what she says here. After listening to Megyn Kelly, listen to this hoe. Listen to this.
Stephanopoulos knows that he is one of the least likely people in the world to try and shame somebody who has suffered that kind of awful experience. I mean, that's just not the way George carries out his journalism.
Oh my
he's
God!
Fair, he's honest, and it was a legitimate question.
That's hilarious.
ABC News.
That is hilarious. Oh my God! They don't remember who George Stephanopoulos is. That's amazing. All right, there you go. I was gonna do more stuff today, but then the breaking news in the island over in Africa broke. Good morning, K. Shaw. What's up? Did I say hi to you, GDSOB? I hope I did, but if I didn't, I am now. So now, let's see. There's a bunch of different articles I have here open, but we'll just go through some headlines, I guess. Let's do this one first. 20 or so obvious questions about January 6th. By the way, I didn't mention the fact that the Inspector General report came out on the FBI, and they said that there were 26 confidential informants present on January 6th. Now, the problem with this AG report, 3 were actually there on behalf of the FBI, but the others were not apparently, but they were there. The problem with the Inspector General report is they can only interview current employees of the FBI. So if there were other agents in the crowd, they can't interview. They wouldn't be able to interview. There's a lot of people they want to interview, but they won't interview because they're no longer employed by the FBI. That was kind of the scope, the limited scope of the Inspector General report. Also, because it's the Inspector General of the FBI, they can only do FBI stuff. Apparently, there were a whole bunch of people who did not work for the FBI specifically, but worked for Homeland Security that were in that crowd too. So there's a bunch of people that could have been there that this report does not cover. I'll just go through this one though. Even before Donald Trump ascends to the presidency on January 20th, his appointees should ask themselves the questions that follow. All of them simple and straightforward. With Christopher Wray stepping down from the FBI directorship, they'll have a much better chance of getting straight answers quickly. Trump's team should then share those answers widely. This information will make President Trump's pardon of more than 1,500 Americans much more comprehensible to the American public and much less controversial. Although now the FBI admits to having 26 confidential human sources in the crowd on January 6th, how many total assets did the FBI and other entities plant, and what roles did they play? Yeah, so the 26 confidential human sources that the FBI claims that they had, or the Inspector General claims they had, is based only on interviews with current FBI employees. What entity was Ray Epps working for under what terms? That's a good question because he certainly had something going on. They've lied their ass off about Ray Epps. Who planted the pipe bombs outside the DNC and near RNC headquarters? Who instructed Kamala Harris to conceal the fact that she was at the DNC when the bomb was found, and why? Why did Harris allow hundreds of January 6ers to be prosecuted for threatening her designated space at the Capitol when she wasn't at the Capitol? That's why some of the charges are based on proximity to the president or the vice president. And so several of these J6ers got charges based on the fact that the vice president was at the Capitol, but she wasn't at the Capitol. She wasn't within the distance limits for those charges to be charged, and yet the judges went through with them. Who instructed? Who are the two law enforcement officials who told the New York Times that pro-Trump rioters fatally struck Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick with a fire extinguisher, inflicting a bloody gash in his head? That never happened. Who orchestrated the 100-day-plus suppression of Sicknick's autopsy report? Yeah, they basically, the Congress people, Democrats, martyred him before they had the official autopsy report, and then we find out later that, oh no, he didn't die from any wounds. He didn't have any wounds. He died from an aneurysm. Let's see. If Sicknick was, who orchestrated the 100-day plus? Yeah. If Sicknick was not murdered, as the DOJ finally conceded, why did a federal judge give Julian Cater an 80-month prison sentence for spritzing Sicknick with an over-the-counter pepper spray? Has there been an official inquiry into the subsequent suicide deaths of 4 USCP officers? And if not, why has the DOJ routinely blamed the January 6ers for causing those deaths? Why was there no crime scene investigation likely in the likely homicide of Brozanne Boylan? Yeah, she's the one who they claimed was a drug overdose when they have video of her getting beat to death, basically by a baton. There's 2 women officers beating her with a baton while she was on the ground, and she died at that scene, and they took her out from there. Who chose to ignore the obvious video evidence of Boylan being suffocated as a result of police action and to falsely blame her death on an amphetamine overdose? Who suppressed the Boylan autopsy report for 90 days and stonewalled her family at every turn? Why was Lila Morris, the Metro PD officer, caught on video at repeatedly bashing the unconscious Boylan over the head with a tree branch? Well, it was a baton. Not even disciplined. Why was the Metropolitan PD Lieutenant Jason Bagshaw promoted despite having been caught on video bashing the defenseless Victoria White bloody? Why did the DOJ not interview the eyewitness to the shooting death of Ashley Babbitt? Why did the USCP coddle and promote Babbitt's killer, Michael Byrd, despite a shooting that, according to use of force expert Stan Kephart, violated not only the law but his oath? Who ordered the shock and awe raids on the homes of hundreds of nonviolent protesters, and why? Why has the so-called scaffold commander not been arrested despite multiple clear images of his face? Why has the man who constructed the mock gallows on the Capitol grounds not been arrested despite multiple clear images of his face? Oh, I didn't know they didn't arrest him. Yeah, so they made that fake scaffold, right? You know, the what do you call it? The not scaffold, the gallows, the mock gallows. They were like 3 feet tall. Like if you couldn't hang the short dude. What's the midget dude's name that was in Game of Thrones? You couldn't hang him on that. It was so small. It was and they kept taking pictures of it. They have so many beautiful pictures of that noose, the clothesline. Why was Emmanuel Jackson quickly set free despite having been caught on video swinging a baseball bat at police officers over a 2-hour period? Oh, I didn't know they released him. If there was no insurrection, as the DOJ conceded, why were the sentences given to the J6ers so much more severe than the $30 to $50 fines given to the protesters who physically obstructed the Kavanaugh hearings? These are simple questions. The ones off the top. I'm sure readers will think of others that this writer may have overlooked. To be sure, more probing questions need to be asked about the January 6th Select Committee report, as well as the charging documents for the J6ers. Having read through much of this material, I'm impressed by how casually and routinely our elected officials and federal jurists distort the facts to protect the party line. In short, they lie, and in some... Oh, wait, they lie? Shocker! And some have done so under oath. Yeah, many have. I'm impressed, too, by the shamelessness of the DOJ that can boast its success rate in securing convictions, knowing that the accused were allowed no change of venue and faced juries pulled from a pool of 95% anti-Trump, or that was, from 95% anti-Trump. This needs to change. More questions need to be asked, as well as about the security failures at all levels on January 6th. In his otherwise worthy book, Government Gangsters, Kash Patel more or less exonerates the Pentagon. He should not have. Incompetence explains much of what went wrong on January 6th, but so does treason. Nearly 1,600 American citizens were arrested for exercising their First Amendment rights on January 6th, and roughly half of them have been incarcerated. Save for the insurrectionists among them, if there were any, the rest deserve not just commutation of their sentences, but a full pardon. Many may deserve compensation. All deserve the truth. So there you go. Very good article. All right, just the headlines that are left. In the American Thinker, I'm talking about the FBI on January 6th, and this kind of goes through the OIG report, the Inspector General report, just about the FBI, where the information I got just regarding how limited it is. It's limited because even though some of those were FBI people, there were FBI people that no longer employed that were probably there. There were Homeland Security people there. In fact, they had a body cam footage of some officers going through in plain clothes dressed as Trump supporters, but they had the body cam footage. We've seen some of that, where they're instigating someone and cheering people on who are doing wrong things. MRC TV, viral clip shows Shifty Schiff changing his tune when it comes to indicting political opponents. Here, we can watch this one. It's not
on
very
the
long.
Day Donald Trump leaves office, the Justice Department may indict him.
Very strongly in favor of indicting the president when he is out of office.
I don't think the incoming president should be threatening his political opponents with jail time. That's not the kind of talk we should hear from a president in a democracy.
That's let's play that again just to hear Adam Schiff. It is bullshit.
On the day Donald Trump leaves office, the Justice Department may indict him.
Strongly in favor of indicting the president when he is out of office.
I don't think the incoming president should be threatening his political opponents with jail time. That's not the kind of talk we should hear from a president in a democracy.
On the day.
No one expects Donald Trump to be back. Oh, he's back, bitch. Now, here we go.
Gotcha, bitch.
Moving on. In Breitbart, Trump fans seen at the Army-Navy game with Daniel Penny after acquittal. I don't like this particular visual, even though I think Daniel Penny was rightly acquitted of this crime. I don't know. It just puts fuel and fire, and I think there's better people that they could have invited to the Army-Navy game. But they did have Pete Hegseth was there. I think who else was with them? J.D. Vance, Pete Hegseth. I think Vivek was there. I think Tulsi Gabbard was there. I think even Mike Johnson was there, but he was kind of by himself. Wesley Hunt was there. And by the way, Navy beat the once defeated Army in that game. I didn't know this. I don't know the score, but Army was like 11-1 and got bumped by Navy. In the New York Post, Alvin Bragg's bizarre antics told Daniel Penny jury the trial was just a sham. The acquittal last Monday of former Marine Daniel Penny is a blow to Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg. The jury came to the common sense judgment that Penny was justified in subduing a threatening vagrant, Jordan Neely, on a subway last May. Worse for Bragg is that his office's own bizarre actions may have tipped the jury in Penny's favor. The jury of 7 women and 5 men heard almost 5 weeks worth of arguments and evidence and deliberated for almost a week, and it ultimately came to a sound verdict on one of 2 charges. Penny had not acted in a criminally negligent way that led to Neely's death. Now, you got to read the rest yourself, but yeah, they go through why it's so just some of the dumb shit that the prosecutors did. Daily Wire, Bernie Sanders says the insurance CEO murdered because of anger at company profits. Again, they're soft. Like they're saying, no one should be murdered in cold blood, but there was a good reason for it. And it's just, this whole line of thought is fairly disgusting. No, there's no good reason to murder someone in cold blood. Plus, there's a whole bunch of other shit coming about the relationship between the two. Might have been other things. Chicago Mayor Johnson goes on attack against the evilness of Donald Trump's immigration plan. Okay, so he's very angry that Donald Trump has this immigration plan. But the constituents in the city of Chicago have been lambasting Brandon Johnson in these city council meetings. If you haven't seen any of them online, I might have to pull some of those up. He's been getting it's like they came with torches and they're yelling. So they can come with torches. He's been getting beat up in these city council meetings. His constituents are not having it. They're excited to have have the ICE come in and deport all these motherfuckers who are getting all this shit for free that they are not getting. So he may be going on the attack, but he may be on the outs. They might recall his ass. I don't know what's going to happen. Also, Breitbart. The Border Patrol chief says that 10,000 special interest aliens apprehended in the new fiscal year. More than 10,000 special interest aliens were apprehended during the first 2.5 months of the new fiscal year. Special interest aliens come from countries with known ties to terrorism. Oh, fan-fucking-tastic. There's a whole article on that in Daily Caller. Macy's going to close 65 stores after Christmas. I don't know if this is as much economy driven as change in how people shop conditions. But they announced Wednesday they're going to close 65 stores. The major retailers' move to shutter dozens of locations comes as part of a plan to get rid of 150 underperforming stores in the next 3 years, according to CBS News. So there's more information in that article. Also in the Daily Caller, DNC officials say Democrats carried the stench of loser after the election defeat. DNC Finance Committee member Lindy Lee said Saturday that Democrats carried the stench of losers following the vice presidential Kamala Harris's historic election defeat. She's been making the rounds on Fox and all these conservative outlets and financial outlets and whatever. She's they're one of their biggest fundraisers. And she's saying on all these platforms that the donors that send the big money are like, fuck those guys. We're done with them. And the smaller donors are pissed off that Kamala Harris blew through $2.5 billion and still in debt. They're not happy. And Lindy Lee is probably, I don't know, man. She may be feeling sad soon because she's pissed off. And also the Daily Wire, Nancy Pelosi was over in, where was she? Somewhere in Europe, and she broke her hip in Luxembourg and has a hip replacement. Now, this is not good. She was wearing high heels and she fell down the stairs and broke her hip. went to a U.S. military hospital where they replaced her hip. They have, when someone that old breaks a hip, that's not good news. Frankly, I can't stand Nancy Pelosi, but I hope she recovers as well as an 84-year-old woman can. And, this doesn't end her, but someone that old breaks a hip, it's not good. So you can read about it in Daily Wire, PJ Media. Again, end of the line for Nancy Pelosi, hip fractures, mortality rates, and father time. And this is where they're talking about this. Good news, she's a wealthy, politically connected woman. All three matter. When you're wealthy, you have more options. When you're politically connected, you don't wait in line. Women are way better at longevity than men are. And not just because men are dopey, drink more, and think it's cool to play with fireworks. But there's a reason why 85% of centenarians and 90% of supercentenarians are women. And this isn't purely behavioral. When it comes to longevity, genetics are king, or more commonly, queen. Still, in the short-term and long-term outlook for Nancy Pelosi's political career is dismal. It's a sad, brutal, and painful end for one of the most influential legislators in American history. The purpose of this column isn't to gloat, only a cretin delights in the physical suffering of others, but to be truthful and candid about what happens next. Statistically, when a woman in her mid-80s breaks her hip, the consequences are cataclysmic. Up to 33% of older adults with hip fractures die within a year. 50% are unable to bathe, feed, wipe their butts, or dress themselves. About 1 in 5 end up in long-term care facilities. This is serious, very serious. During the first 3 months after a hip fracture, older adults have 5 to 8 times higher risk of dying, and this elevated mortality rate lasts nearly a decade. An untreated hip fracture is even worse. 70% of victims are dead within a year. Now, she did get treatment immediately, but it's not a trivial thing. Often it's not that the broken hip itself is so medically dangerous. It's an overall indicator of physical fragility. If your grip strength, stamina, balance, and bone density have all severely deteriorated, you're more likely to fall and break your hip. It could be more correlation than causation, which is why grip strength has been hailed as an indispensable biomarker for older adults. It's not that having strong hands is the secret to a long, healthy life, but that people with strong hands are less likely to slip and fall, plus they're probably stronger overall. So anyway, this is not good. So, again, I have no love lost for Nancy Pelosi, but I don't ever wish this on anybody. She has family, she has grandchildren, she has all kinds of people who love her, and you just hope that for the best for her, but this is not a good thing for Nancy Pelosi. So prayers out to Nancy Pelosi. That would be a phrase I'd never say in my entire life. So there you go. In the Daily Wire also, again, unpacking Trump's election, big gains in non-white voters, and a rejection of the establishment media. Again, as I said, the only demographic that he did worse in were white people. So you can read about that. PJ Media, here's why you can't. Oh, the whole drone gate thing. We made fun of those motherfuckers yesterday about the drones. I'm not going to, I got to finish up. So you can read the other articles. There's a few more. Another article on the great drone scam in American Thinker. In PJ Media, how many of those thousands of illegal Chinese young men Biden led into America are drone operators? By the way, did you know there's at least 36,000 individuals who've crossed our border illegally who knew the English word asylum, are from China. And they're all like military age men. 36,000. Do you think some of them might be drone operators? I don't know. You just don't know. It's so easy to get in here from the southern border. We have Mexico Border Tourism Company bringing them all in. Also, PJ Media drones shut down the New York airport runway, even as Hochul says, the governor of New York, says it's gone too far. They shut down a fucking airport runway. They're all over the fucking place, and someone needs to fucking tell us the truth about this shit. I'm just saying. All right, then there's a couple other articles, and also a link to my shorts. Oh, no, it's not. I was going to say my shorts page on YouTube, not link to my shorts, but you know what I'm saying. To my YouTube shorts. And, yeah, there they are.
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been.
We already did that one. All right, that's it. I got to go. Let me drop the links to everything in the chat here shortly, as opposed to Tolly or Longley. And let me get rid of those two first. That one's gone. There we go. All right. That 2, 3, and here we go. Today's links are in the link. Hello, Nomad. There's today's links. That's it. I got to go. Hello, Nomad.
Stop. Hammer time.
I got to go. My name's P-Dog Knight. Very abrupt. I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.